I'm in Lewes at St Mary's Church for the Neville Estate 2030 community event. There are the usual plants, bunting, buns, but also stalls with resources and advice for living a climate-conscious life.
The three top tips are insulation, insulation and insulation.
I've been trained to be an energy champion, which means that I can help and advise people about their energy usage.
I'm Nick Rouse. I'm the Technical Director of Ovesco, which is a local organisation, and we try to encourage renewable energy. And as part of our work, we go around schools and other places, events like this.
And here you're showing children and ignorant adults like me different ways of how electricity can be generated.
One that most of the youngsters like is this, which generates lightning type voltages, and we can get big sparks out of it. What's there is a plastic disc which has some metal strips on it, each of which can be charged up, and they spin in opposite directions. As you turn the handle, one disc spins clockwise and one spins anti-clockwise. And if they have the opposite charge of them to start with, it builds up the voltage as you pull them apart.
There's a climometer chart here made out of recycled card, and you've got the option to add stickers to columns saying whether you feel sad, angry, hopeful or scared about climate change. And then there's the option to add stickers to show what you're doing, from lobbying your MP to making lifestyle changes.
So Tony, what's the Library of Things? What does it mean?
Okay, so it's a sharing community, and it is for the whole community. And as you can see from the poster or banner, we have a number of items, for example, from gardening to household to camping equipment, etc. That anybody, because it's all free, anybody can come along and borrow anything for up to 7 days, a bit more for camping equipment, and it means they can do the events and go on holiday or do things that they'd like to do, but they maybe couldn't afford to, or they didn't want to actually go out and buy the things. So it's about reducing waste and reducing consumption.
There's a poster behind you with pictures of people repairing electrical goods, from cycles to textiles and china to bags.
We live in a sort of, basically our consumption society is about buying things and keep on buying things, and that's how the economic system works, and there isn't actually the incentive to repair things. Things are so cheap, it's more expensive to repair things nowadays, so we tend to throw them away. So the Repair Cafe is about sort of like being able to come down, even if you can't repair it, you've tried to diagnose something, you can then, in all good conscience, say, well, I can't get that repaired, but a lot of the time we can.
Hello.
Hello! I'm happy to see you've got a Singer sewing machine like my mum had, and patches, cloth and an iron.
So we're doing a little bit of repairing and reworking. I think the idea is so that you don't throw clothes away, and lots of people don't feel kind of confident repairing things, so we're giving free advice, even things like how to thread a needle. Lots of people feel unconfident with that.
This stall has a banner, "How clean is your cash?" and signs like "Time to use your pension power."
So if you want to live an ethical lifestyle, and if you want to stop investing in fossil fuels, then you may have to think about moving your money. That may sound like a big thing, but it's incredibly simple. It takes 7 days. The bank does it automatically for you. I spent a lot of time thinking, like a lot of people, I think, I've got to change my bank account. And of course, you know, many other things happen in life and you don't do it. So 6 months ago, I sat down and thought, right, I've got to do this. No doubt it would be really complicated. It was incredibly easy. It took me about 20 minutes. And I swapped over to Triodos and Nationwide and Starling. 3 very ethical banks, and I moved from ones that I discovered after research were not good.
And what about pension funds?
For most people, pensions is the biggest amount of money in terms of savings that they have. So you have a lot of power as the owner of that money. That's your money. You can do with it what you want. Now, if you have your pension with some companies, that money is basically fueling climate change because it's going into investments like fossil fuels, oil, gas, Russian companies. The recommended ones are Nest, which is a government-backed provider, which is huge and has fantastic ethical policies. The other ones that score highly are the People's Pension, Royal London Pensions, Prudential, Legal and General, Aviva, LV Equals and Standard Life.
Here we're making a little animation using cardboard cars, which will have some traffic building up, and the exhaust fumes made out of scrunched up newspaper will reveal our monsters. And we've had a little monster workshop with the children building their monsters using new plast modelling clay over wire armatures, which is like a little skeleton inside, which allows the models to be posable. And so exhaust fumes will reveal the monsters, and the monsters will cause mayhem.
I'm Matthew Bird. I'm the Cabinet Councillor at District Council for Sustainability. These are like little flexible kits, aren't they?
What you've got is a tiny solar panel with wheels on either side, and they're going crazy because it's so sunny.
Yeah, so you can possibly hear that whirring around. And they're like little panels, and then you can sort of make the bodies of the cars from sort of milk cartons and Tetra Packs. We had some kids one day that actually made one into a stiletto, into a shoe.
Are those solar panels?
They are, yeah.
So is it like, if it has a little bit of sun, it goes a bit slow?
That's right. Make sure that the sun is shining right on it. Wow, it's going to run you over. Yeah.
What about the cargo bikes?
We have a project called Get Bikery, and we've got a number of cargo bikes, which the council has got funding for. And then that's being run by Ovesco, who are a local energy services company. And the idea is that we'll do deliveries for some local shops, and then we can lend them out to people so they can see if maybe they might want to give up the car and use a cargo bike. And we can also use it for like kids events, and we can work with South Downs National Park and take kids up and do forest schools and things like that. So, you know, basically trying to replace cars as much as possible.
I'm Vanya, and I just offered to help with decorating these cargo bikes so that we give them a bit of colour and life for today, a little bit of fun. We've got lots of recycled materials and materials that can be repurposed. Children are, this is their creations, and they're coming up with ideas of a name for the bike. And we've got Colourful Catastrophe, My Bike and Firework.